Good morning, new international students. Welcome to this Master's Well Day. First, I want to ask you if you all can hear us well. If you hear us well, can you tell that on the chat? There is a chat running along the live stream and you can make your remarks there. Yes, I get an approve. Okay. Well, you all know why we are not together today in this room in the Huygens building. We three are in the Huygens building in room number 304 to give you a little bit the feeling of being here with us in our faculty. The room is called 304, but the students call it the orange room because the seats in this room have orange covers. Well, I'm not alone. I'm accompanied by two other people, and I want to present them to you. Professor Dr. Nicolo de Rode on my right side, and master student in physics and astronomy, Ilya Sibin-Milutin, and I am Connie Moren, the moderator of this 45 minutes. As you can see on the first sheet, there is a chat available during this session. You can ask questions, maybe if you didn't understand something well, and we hope that we have a little bit time left to come back to a few of those questions at the end of the presentation. If not, you will receive your questions from Rian, our chat moderator of this morning. In this picture, I want to show the new students that are coming into our masters, where they come from. It's either their nationality or it is the place, the land, the country where they have finalized their pre-education. That's usually a bachelor's. But you also see that the Netherlands is in this list because we also have a lot of students coming from other Dutch universities. If you missed your country or your nationality, you can put that on the chat and we will add it to the list. This is the program of this day, of this Master's Welcome Day. We are now in the live stream, the introduction of the Faculty of Science. At 10:30, you will change to the intercultural classroom, a lecture given by the International Office. And furthermore, from this sheet, I only want to mention that the physical activity on Monday, 31st of August, is cancelled. And we know the reason for that. It was because of the rising numbers of COVID-19 in the Netherlands, and our board has decided that we couldn't have live sessions on that Monday. Then I want to give the word, and also this remote, to Professor Nicolo de Rode for an introduction to our faculty.
Yes, thank you. Also, on my behalf, a very warm welcome to this university. These are strange, a little bit crazy days, and I want to say something about studying in the time of the coronavirus. First of all, the situation can change rapidly, and you can always find the latest updates on the university website, and the link is on the sheet. What does it mean for you? Well, the first thing is we will try to create an environment that is as safe as possible for all our students, and that is our first priority. But we also want an environment where you can learn as much as possible, and that means that we will resort to blended learning, where some of the activities will be here on campus and other activities will be done online. What we will also try in these difficult days is to give you a student experience which is as complete as is reasonably possible these days. It depends a little bit on the type of class you'll have in the first period, whether it will be online or in person, but you will get information. Okay, this is where we are, Nijmegen. We're on the eastern border of the Netherlands, close to Germany, not too far from Belgium. We're located on a branch, the main branch of the River Rhine that starts in Switzerland, and this branch is called the Waal. You've got a pretty picture of the river and the city here. It's the oldest town in the Netherlands, dating back to Roman days. There's not much Roman in here, but again, this is Center Square, which is a very lively part of the city. It's a middle-sized city, about 180 inhabitants, large enough to have basically everything you want, but still small enough to be personal, not to get lost in. And you've got a couple of pictures here again, the Central Square, a couple of our parks. There's a lot of green space, and the Vereniging, which is one of the main theater buildings in the city. Now, the Radboud University is a typical university. We sort of would like to claim that it all started with the Romans, but unfortunately that's not true. It started in 1923 when the university was opened. So that means we're pretty close to our 100th birthday. It was expanded 70 years ago into the current campus site on an old estate, the Heindal estate. Here you see the same picture of the estate after the university filled it with buildings. But you can see there's still a lot of green space left. Here is from our highest tower a overview from above of the campus and its various buildings. And here are some facts and figures of our university. We have well over 20,000 students, of which 10% are international. We have almost 3,000 academic staff, of which a quarter is international, with almost 400 PhDs in a year, and have 38 bachelor programs and 59 master programs. The university has 7 faculties, of which the Faculty of Science is 1. And we're basically covering all research areas, the humanities, behavioral and social sciences, science, and medicine. The only thing that's really missing is an engineer's school. There's a lot of interdisciplinary research going on between these faculties, and we consider it a big advantage of that university. Here's some pretty pictures of life on the campus, inside, outside. As I said, we have a very green campus, courtesy of the old estate, and we try to keep it that way. And I think one of our unique selling points is that our campus is also really walking distance of the city center. Focusing in on the science faculty, this is the Huygens building. It's the main building of the science faculty, also seen from above. It's a relatively new building, a bit over 10 years old. It's very light. And here's some numbers of the science faculty. We have almost 3,000 students, of which 17% are international. We hope to receive 750 new students for this year, 220 PhDs, almost 90 professors, and there's a staff of 900. Last year we produced over 100 PhD theses, 1,500 scientific publications. And if you walk through the building and talk to, if you really talk to everyone, you will encounter 43 different nationalities. It's a very international part of the university. One of the highlights, scientific highlights of the faculty was the award of the Nobel Prize of Physics in 2010 to Professor Geim and Novoselov. They are still at the university in the capacity of professor by special appointment. Professor Geim was an associate professor here, and Professor Novoselov did his PhD at this university. So they got a Nobel Prize for the discovery of graphene, a new state of carbon, which has many applications in electronics, medicine, water purification, you name it. It's just getting started. This is the original paper, by the way. But it's not the only part of spectacular science that has been going on at the university here. So I have 6 examples of major breakthroughs of the past decade or so where we've been involved. Top left, you see the picture of the event horizon of the black hole, where we were really one of the leading universities. The middle top is a study by the biology department about the disappearance of insects in Europe, which created a major debate all through the country and even the continent about ecology. At the top right, you see the first discovery of gravitational waves, for which also Nobel Prize has been awarded, where we were one of the participants. At the bottom left, we have, this is actually our OV chip card, which is the card we use for public transport, where our university was the one that actually proved that the privacy and security of it was totally non-existent, and that led to a major overhaul. Bottom center is very fast switching of magnets in materials, which can lead to new memory technology, new ICT, green ICT applications. And on the bottom right, we see the discovery of the Higgs boson, where we were one of the leading universities. Here are some famous scientists that were part of it. On the left, Heino Falke and Monika Mosi-Brodska, who were part of the black hole team. Mike Jette, who did major breakthrough work on microorganisms, Bert Jacobs on cybersecurity, Willem Huck on nanobots. We have a, what we think, special approach to teaching and to student life. We have a transparent building, very open atmosphere. A lot of the activities are in small groups. And one of the things I hope you'll find out when you're here is that our staff is very approachable, and there's a lot of contact. You can, there's a sort of, well, it's Corona time, but usually there is an open door policy, and you can just walk into an office and ask a question or some advice. We have great student facilities, and we have a great student life with lots of culture, lots of sports, lots of other activities, good social student life. Here are some pictures of the student facilities in the building. Again, you can see it's very light everywhere, and that was a deliberate design choice for the building. If you do a master's here, you can even do more if you think it's too easy. We have a couple of additional projects which you can add to your program. There's Project Impact, where you work in an interdisciplinary team on a relevant societal issue for external clients, with workshops, coaching. And there's Beyond the Frontiers, where you can set up your own research and where we encourage students also to go abroad, and they go to places like observational astronomy studies in the Canary Islands, or to CERN, or to other places. So more information you can find in the link below. Here are our main sort of islands of educational programs. There's a lot of connections there on computer science, molecular science, mathematics and physics, and on the biology side. And the research is organized in a number of research institutes. I'm not going to list them all, but you can see them here. So have a look at the link for more details of what research may be interesting to you. We have a number of facilities here at the campus, which are quite special. We have the high-field magnet laboratory. It's one of the strongest magnets in the world. We sort of play a game that we try to trump each other, and I don't know at the moment if we're number 1 or number 2, but one of both. We have a free electron laser where you can produce a very strong laser beam for all sorts of experiments ranging from biology to material science. A life science trace gas facility, greenhouses, nano laboratory, and a number of telescopes. So I want to show a quick testimony of one of our international students, what he got out of the program here. He did a Master of Chemistry, Lorenzo Cavina. He did a second internship in the USA, and he's currently a PhD student in the Institute of Molecules and Materials. So he clearly had a good time here. So such a good time that he actually decided to continue his PhD. Thank you very much for your attention. Again, welcome to this university. And with this, I hand back to Connie.
Thank you, well. Thank you, Nico, for your presentation. I think that you won't stay with us this morning because you might have a very busy schedule as Vice Dean. So
I'll stick around briefly for if there are some questions, but at a certain moment I'll slowly move forward.
Okay, that's good to hear. Then we proceed with myself. My name was Connie Morin, and besides being the moderator of this morning, I'm also a student advisor for one master's group, and that is the master's group in biology. Well, I want to tell you a little bit about what student advisors do, and also two other services that we can deliver to you. In general, of course, you will mostly see our staff, our teachers, our practicum coordinators, our internship supervisors, but there might be times that you need a student advisor or other services. Well, what is the role of a student advisor in our faculty? What do they do and how can you come in contact with them? Usually when you would be on campus and we too, then you would meet us in wing number 5 in our building, very near the main entrance. But in corona-proof times, you will meet us mostly online via a Skype meeting, via telephone, via Jitsi or whatever platform. We are easy to approach, we have open agendas, and you will hear that later today when the student advisors will present at 1 o'clock about the program. We can give a lot of information. We know a lot because we all work here for a long time. We can show you where you can find your information. So make use of that if you have questions, if you don't find the information that you need to proceed in a good way with your program, come to us, make an appointment, and we can help you with that. We can plan the program with you. You must know that a master's program is partially an open program. We also will start with mandatory courses that is easy, that is scheduled, but after that, students are free to choose internships, to do optionals, etc. And sometimes that is difficult because the freedom makes that you have to do a lot by yourself. Know that we are there to plan the program together with you in the best possible way. So we also can be an intermediate for those internships. More about that you will hear later today at 1 o'clock. Then, of course, like every program, there are rules. There are examination rules and guidelines. They are, let's say, in a legal language, so not always easy to interpret, but we can help you to interpret our rules and regulations so that you keep in the lines of those rules, but still can do what you would like to do. And of course, there will always be new initiatives. Students always find something out that we didn't see before. We can help you to make it come true. And if there are bad times, and that can always happen to a student or to a family far away, know that we can dry those tears and we can maybe even help you to find other services to solve that problem. Another service is the peer-to-peer program. We also call it the buddy program. You see the link here. We are already proud to have 16 master students, master peers, ready to help our new students, and already 13 students, that was the latest info, have registered for the program. Students can help students in another way. That's not the student advisor's way, but it's the person of your same age that can help you. If you have questions, then mail to peer-to-peer@ru.nl. And then the last service, I can be short about this because also this will be addressed later this afternoon. We have an international office. They organize go abroad evenings, sessions, lunch breaks, whatsoever. And the first ones are scheduled on October 12th and October 13th during lunch. More information will come via email. There are scholarships. Note that we have that all, and you can connect to the international office via the link on the website. I see that I forgot to note it here, or via the student advisor. Read the sheet, then you see that we have scholarships for a lot of purposes. Well, due to the time, I end here, and I give now the word to our master students, Ilya, who will show you something about our associations.
Yep. Hello, so my name is Ilya. I'm a fifth-year student here, and I want to give you an impression about the study associations we have here at faculty. Many students here claim that one of the main experiences here in Nijmegen are the study associations. They are the main basis of most people's social life here at the university. So I will be doing this talk as the chairman of Olympus, which is the umbrella association of all the science study associations. And first, to give you an impression, I want to explain what Olympus specifically does. The study associations have canteens here in the building, and they're of the associations themselves. And we are the association that governs them. So we make sure they're up to date, that there's enough food, and I hope you can come there soon. It's a really nice place to gather, to meet people, to ask people questions, to also talk to people if you have problems. And what we also do, we organize very big activities which bring together students from all different studies. What we also do is help facilitate the contact between the faculty and the associations so that we can make an optimal life here for all the students. So to give you an impression of what kind of activities we organize, which is also similar indication for the other study associations, we're mostly talking about what we usually do. What this year will happen, I have no idea. We are still planning all of that. So our most famous activity is Base Feest, which is a gigantic party with about 2,000 students from mainly the science faculty. And this is held in the Dombroosje. It's the big theater next to the Central Station, which you may have seen. And it's almost every 2 months, and it's very popular. It's very low-key. What I like the most about it is that many students who do not like parties often do go to Base Feest, so it's a very different atmosphere than usual parties. Another thing is the movie night, where we watch movies the entire night here at the faculty, and where you usually have lectures. You're just going to watch a movie until 5 o'clock in the morning. And we also do some smaller activities like brunches, organizing a LAN night where you can game with the people from the other studies. And other small activities like beer garden, pub quizzes, and drinks. So even more important than Olympus are the associations of the studies themselves. And I want to quickly go through them. So firstly, I'll talk about physics and astrophysics, which is Marie Curie. A bit biased because I'm a physics student. And they are for the bachelor's and the master students of the physics track. Then we have for artificial intelligence. Officially not our faculty, but they do belong to Olympus. We have Cognac. For mathematics, we have DESDA. For biology, we have BV. For computing science, we have Thalia. And for chemistry, molecular life science, and science, we have Sigma. Science themselves have their own association, which is called Leonardo. And we have also the Beta Bedrijvenbeurs. It's not a study association, but they organize a big event every year where they bring you into contact with many different companies so you can search a bit for what you can do here in the Netherlands after your studies. So what do all these study associations have in common? They are a very good platform to meet other students, to relax, to help you study, to broaden your study. So it's not just only relaxing activities, they also have quite some informative activities. So, and these relaxing activities, they are a gigantic range of possibilities. There can be pub quizzes, drinks, parties, game nights. There's an endless possibility. And even like times like this in Corona, they're organizing many digital activities which bring together people so you are not bored and can meet people. The formal activities that I've mentioned, they organize big symposia, some which even invite all kinds of students throughout the Netherlands. Some have lecturers from even outside the Netherlands, very interesting symposia. They organize study sessions so that you can study together for exams, you can ask questions. Many career orientation activities, lunch lectures given by companies or researchers, or they make excursions to the companies in the Netherlands or close over the border. Also, a big part of the study associations are the study trips. There are many differences between the associations. Some have smaller study trips where you go for a few days to somewhere more far away to see their research facilities. Others have gigantic study trips from like a month where you can even get credits for. So research that for your own study association. And what also the most study associations do, they provide you with study books with discounts. So that's already a good reason to become a member. So if you want to know more about us, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also email us with any of these questions you have about Olympus or the study associations. So if you need to come in contact with them and you cannot find them, usually just Googling them, it's not very difficult. But if you do have problems, just email us. We love to help you. And even if you want to help us, we also have many committees here at Olympus, but also your associations themselves. And it's very fun to join them, to meet people, and to provide great things for your other students. So that was my talk, and then I'll give you back the
Thank you, Elia, for your presentation. Then I have to look at my colleagues who are here today, if there is time left, and if there are questions that we could address here. One of the three, we are all three still here. I hear that we have some minutes left. I look at Rian. Is there a question?
Yeah, there's one question, but maybe for you.
Yeah.
What does BV stand for?
Biologievereniging, Biology Association.
Oh, okay, then they were correct.
Yeah.
It's the Dutch shortcut, the B and the V, but it should be the B and the A in English. Yes. Is there something else that we could answer now at this moment?
Yeah, there's a question. Now it's going about associations, but how can you sign up?
Yeah, most associations have an online sign-up sheet, so just Google their name and you'll come to their website, and so you can sign up there. And otherwise, on their website, they will have information about how you can sign up. It's usually quite straightforward, and if it's not working, please send us an email and we'll help you through it.
Yes, another question.
There were some questions about how can you choose which courses you want to follow and how can you sign up. But I think that will be discussed later.
Yeah, I can repeat the question. There was a question about how do you know, or how do you know for which courses you have to register. That will all become clear at 1 o'clock in the session with the student advisor. It's you all are accepted. That means that there is space for everybody in those courses. And we expected that most of the students would register themselves this next weekend, maybe from tomorrow on, and then that is really in time. You must also know that in the masters, I think all of the courses are only theory. So it's not that we don't have enough spots because of practical parts. In the masters, the courses are about theory, about publications, about how you have to be very critical about publications. you will have to write a lot, etc. So there was no urge to get you enrolled at a very early stage for those master's courses. Be confident that it will all work out when you have all information from your student advisor. Other questions?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question if all masters will be online this semester.
It's what Nicolo de Groot already has told in Q1 in the masters. I guess that most of the courses will be online. But I heard also from the Educational Institute of Biology that they got one day on which they could get the students to campus for maybe smaller work groups or whatsoever. You will see that in your schedule. And
Yeah.
I can ask...
I can comment briefly. The aim is to have all students, also the master students, to give them one day here at campus. So in order to be able to meet each other, to have small teaching activities on campus. And the other 4 days, the teaching will be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then there's one other question. How will the internships be in the coming months?
The internships are mostly arranged by the research institutes, and they have an elaborate protocol to deal with the coronavirus so that everyone can work safely. But it looks like we have room for all the internships in the research group.
And there is also, I know from our own institute again, that student advisors have also like an alternative plan for period 2, Q2. That means that in some cases the internships will start later when, for instance, the student doesn't want to come to campus 5 days per week on a lab because of reasons, personal reasons. Then we have alternative credits that you can fill in period 2, and then the time for the internship will be later, and maybe again the world will be a little bit safer by that time. Other questions?
Yes, there's a question. If your degree isn't in time because of Corona, how will that work?
Yeah, what I know about admissions and enrollments, if the degree is finished, you could maybe easily get a statement that your degree is finished. So we don't need per se your formal diploma. But what we need is a formal statement that you have finished the diploma. This happens every year, not only in Corona times. So if you could get a statement of being ready with your bachelor's or your other, maybe another master's, the basis on which you have gotten your admission, that would be fine. Your diploma can be sent very much later. And these problems happen every year, not only in Corona times.
If I may ask, there are also cases of students having still one course to take or one more exam to take because something was rescheduled due to Corona. And there, the advice is to contact the study advisors because we allow for 1 or 2 courses that are not finished.
Yes, that's true. Thank you for the extra information. That is called the flexible admission. So our own students know about that, but this also counts for students who come from abroad. If you have, let's say the credits, the European credits are maximum 30. In your country, your home university, you could say if I have left nothing more than half a year of study, you could already request for a flexible admission. And for international students, that goes via my colleague from the International Admissions, Reka Ketves. You will all have been in contact with her, and you can also address me, because when we get the proof from your university that you are not far left with the things to do for the bachelor's or your pre-education, then we can grant you a flexible admission. And that can be done still in the next few days to come to 1st September. I don't know if you have still time and if we have still questions. Yes, a little bit, a few minutes I hear.
Yeah, the questions are still coming up, but I can also answer them maybe later.
Okay.
Just in the chat.
Yes, I can then turn to the next sheet, because then we can show again the program that we know where we are. We are then slowly finishing the live stream of the introduction of the Faculty of Science, and you are supposed to go to the interactive workshop of our international office, studying in an intercultural classroom. 11:45 you will have a short break, and then Elia will come back with a live stream about systems and the portal. Well, then there is time to lunch, and yeah, it's really like a pity because you have to do that yourself where you are at this moment. Otherwise, we could have done lunch together. And then at 1 o'clock, study program, information in separate sessions. And at 2 o'clock, a social activity by those very important study associations that were explained by Elia, sorry. And again, the physical activity for the ones who have come late into the live stream on Monday, August 31st, is cancelled. I think then that's it for this moment. Yes? And I thank you all for being here. I thank you for accompanying me here today, this morning. It was our first live stream, and I see my colleagues' thumbs up, so I think it all went well, and I hope that you have learned something and enjoyed it. Have a very nice rest of the day. Yes, welcome again. It's around 12 o'clock, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation of the National Office about studying in an intercultural classroom. We are back here at 12 o'clock for 15 minutes about our information systems. So who better than a student can do that? Elia will take you by the hand to go through the different systems so that you learn how everything works. And I take also now the opportunity to say goodbye and thank you, because I will go and bike home and be there at 1 o'clock for my master's group, so that I have my Zoom presentation and I can prepare everything at home. So I want to give the word to you.
Thank you very much. Yes. So we have quite a lot of information systems we use here. And I want to give you a brief overview with the most important information, so you know where you can find your information, how you can register for courses, and all that kind of stuff. So the questions I want to answer today are like, how do you know which courses you need to enroll? How do you enroll for these courses? Where can you find the information? Because you cannot remember everything by yourself. When are your classes scheduled? Where your results are published? Which other facilities you can find here at campus? And also information how they are now changing with the corona measures. How important messages for study advice or other people. Also registered enrollment for exams. And who you can go if you have even questions after this presentation. So the most important thing is your portal. So it's portal.ru.nl, and you can log in here with your S number. And the portal is the hub for all other systems. So from here, you can easily go to all the other systems we use. So which systems are this? This is Brightspace. Brightspace is mainly used by your teachers to provide you with lecture recordings or documents or information about the course. Here's really where you're following your course. Then we have the personal timetable. I think that's very clear what the timetable is. Osiris is the place where you register for courses and register for exams, or deregister, and also where you can find your results and other very important documents. Email, you also have the student email. The prospectus, the study guide, duty kits, whatever you want to call it, where you can find the information which courses are mandatory, when courses are given, what the courses entail, and other important information about applying for diplomas, or it's full of information. So academic results, it's found in Osiris. What also you can find in the portal are the contact information of your study advisor. So if you forget who your study advisor is or the contact information, also quite easily found on this website. Also, faculty news is published here, so yeah, it's great. Everything is the same place, and also the Radboud news. So a portal looks like this. So in the top left corner, you can see the stuff I just talked about, like Brightspace, email, Osiris, Voyage, that's printing, not very important today, personal schedule, and everything. So these links you can use to go to the other systems, where you also can log in with your S number. In the center, you find the messages from Osiris. This is mainly study results or comments of your study advisor. And on the right, you can see the contact information of your study advisor. And in the bottom, there are all kind of extra stuff you can see if you like to use it there or in the systems themselves. So we also you also have an app, the Radboud Student app. In this app, you can see your schedule and your results and your study progress. So how far you are in your program. It's all neat and at the same place, and it's quite handy. Yeah, it's just what I told you. Looks like this. So it's called Radboud Student. Also, fun fact: there is also an app for Brightspace, but it's called Pulse, not Brightspace. I don't know, but it's also quite handy. So, yeah, online systems, they're quite important. So what I already told you, Osiris, so that's the place where you enroll for your courses and for your exams. You can still, the next following days, you can enroll for your courses. You're not too late, it's fine. It's also the place if you need to deregister for a course or exam. It's always smart before an exam week that you, a few weeks ahead of time, check if you're enrolled for the exams, because it would be very sad if you cannot go to your exams because something went wrong. Also very important, Osiris is in the hierarchy above Brightspace. So if you can see stuff from your course in Brightspace, but you're not registered in Osiris, something is wrong and you should fix that. I will come back to it later, who can help you with that. So just remember, register for your courses. And if you do not want to go through the portal, you can use the link sys.good.nl. So as already mentioned, Brightspace has all the information of your course, so more the content of your course. And you can also some teachers will use this also now during these online classes through this format, or they will provide information where you can find your online course. Brightspace is quite intuitive, so just log in and just click around and you'll find everything you need. Again, if you do not want to go through the portal, you can go directly through this link. So you also have your personal schedule, this link, and at this personal schedule you can add courses, so you can just modify it so that it's perfectly fit for your program. You can add an entire program or a specific course or specific parts of courses. So it's very flexible. You can even link it to your Google Agenda or whatever what you use, so you can easily see when and where you have which courses. So that was my talk about the online systems. If you have any questions, please send them in the chat. We have still some time to answer a few of them live now, so I'll give the word to Jan if she has any questions coming up.
Yeah, not that many, but there were questions about where you can find which books you need to buy and.
So, yeah, okay. The information about the books, I'll go here. Yeah. So If you want to find information which books you need to buy, you go to the prospectus, so study guide, and you can find the link in your portal. And then you can see the overview of the course, and then click on your specific subject. And at the bottom, they will have a list of these books are recommended, these books are mandatory, and often the study associations have their own way of providing cheaper books. So I would recommend you to go visit the website of your study association and see which information they have for how to order these books.
Okay, so there was one question then about the purpose of Brightspace.
Okay, so somebody asked the question, what's the purpose of Brightspace? So Brightspace, you can, once you register for a course, the course is added to your Brightspace. This is this Brightspace page, is for this specific course, contains all documents. So there may be lecture notes or assignments or videos or whatever a teacher might put there. So they can share all the necessary information, practical, but also content-wise of the course. This is also the place often where you need to hand in assignments and can rewatch lectures that were recorded. So yeah, the content, so really what you're learning is through Brightspace.
And there was another question about what's the science email for?
So what's the science email for? So at this faculty, you have two emails, the science email and the student email. They are linked to each other, so you get everything on both. The university uses this to send you information. Your study advisor may use it to send you updates about upcoming events or changes in regulations or reminders that you need to register for courses. Or if for some reason somebody needs to contact you from the university, they will reach to you by mail. So I would recommend to open this mail quite often, or just go to the mail and the settings and change it that it sends it to your mail that you do check every day. So it's the main point of contact for employees of the university to you.
Okay, then another question, where can you find a walkthrough of all the courses that you need to register?
So if you want to find an overview of all the courses you need to follow, or all mandatory courses or all elective courses, you go to the prospectus, so the study guide, and there you go to your own specialization, and there they will have a page with these courses are mandatory and given in these periods of the year, and this is the list of all electives. And here you can just find this overview when they are given, and if you click through, you can also find what the courses are specifically about. So just remember the prospectus / study guide.
Then there was a question about if courses are then rescheduled.
So this may happen if you choose course. So the question was if courses are doubly scheduled. Often this is in the case when you're following from different specializations or studies. Unfortunately, there's nothing much that can be done here. If it's within your own specialization, or so, just contact your study advisor and they will try to fix it. But if it's with exams, that can also happen. Also, contact your study advisor, contact the teachers. It's a case-by-case thing that they will solve and try to find the best solution.
And then there was another question about how many courses can you follow each quarter?
So the question was, how many courses can you follow each quarter? Normally, a quarter is 15 European credits. That depends how many courses that is on the division of the credits, but you're not limited. You can do as much as you want, as long as you can handle it. So, but in theory, there's no limit to the amount of courses you can follow.
And then where can you find all the lectures and all recorded?
So the recorded lectures can be found on Brightspace in the specific page of that course.
Then is Blackboard still used?
No, Blackboard, the question is if Blackboard is still used. Blackboard is completely replaced by Brightspace.
And then how can you log in on Brightspace?
So on Brightspace, you log in the same way as the portal, so use your S number and the corresponding password. It's the same login also for the personal timetable and Osiris, they're all the same logins. S number plus password.
Is a VPN connections necessary? And
No.
what do you use it for?
For all these systems, you do not need a VPN connection. They can be accessed from just any internet connection.
And what if you want to follow courses at another university?
This is possible, but this is different per university. For this, I would recommend you take up contact with your study advisor because it's specific with what you want to do. So they can help you with that, and they will help you through it and what you need to do. Just email your study advisor, and they know what to do. So, in the final question.
Yes. Why are the timetables of most courses not available after October 16?
So October 16, I think that's the end of the first quarter. That means that they're not ready yet. If this is a real problem for you in some kind of planning or so, again, contact your study advisor. It's often the best advice. But I think they are just not ready yet. So thank you for your attention. It's a quite brief introduction to the online systems. If you have any problems or questions, contact the department here for computer things. It's called C and ZZ. Or mail your study advisor, or just ask other students that are working around there. They know everything.